September 20th, and I woke up in the best possible mood this morning. Y'all are going to have to put up with my relentless optimism in every single video today. I don't know, y'all. I woke up feeling the most hopeful I have felt in a long time, and that's saying something. It's around lunchtime now. I think I'm going to head to the farmer's market with my kids. I had a pretty quiet morning, enjoying the beautiful sunshine and that kind of like crispness in the air. It's going to be a gorgeous day in Portland. You know, I spent a little time having my coffee, knitting, scrolling through text messages from friends and family that I missed yesterday. And I tend to be a pretty even keel person, but I could not overcome this feeling this morning of like, yeah, I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed. Things are happening. People are starting to realize their own power, our collective power as the American people. And you might say, well, Angela, things are worse than ever, right? Donald Trump is cracking down harder than ever. And I'm like, no. That's evidence. That's evidence of his weakness and his fragility. Heather Cox Richardson said something in her video yesterday, and I want to talk more about that video later today, but she said, the regime is trying to look strong because they do not have control. And that is 1,000,000% correct. The more that they are trying to crack down, the more that is evidence of their desperation. Autocrats, would-be autocrats like Donald Trump, are always weak rulers, and they always count on fear and intimidation in order to get you to obey in advance, because they don't actually have strength. They don't actually have the will of the people behind them. And if you look at the poll that came out yesterday, I believe, The Economist at economist.com is a pretty conservative publication, and they have a Donald Trump approval tracker, right? They monitor Trump's approval through all 243 days so far of his term. They compare it to Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Trump's first term. Now, Trump has been underwater in his approval rating for quite a while now. Y'all, he's down -17. It's not a good scene. He is deeply unpopular. And if you look at every single poll since June of this year, his approval rating is going down and down and down and down. And then if you look at the poll from the beginning of September versus the latest one from September 14th, the drop-off is precipitous. And keep in mind, this is all before all of this Jimmy Kimmel stuff. So we'll see what the next poll looks like, but I imagine that downward trend is going to continue right off a cliff. Trump is deeply unpopular. He does not have a mandate from the people. He is absolutely a fragile autocratic, would-be autocratic ruler. And that's why he's cracking down so hard. It is all of this blustering, trying to make it sound and seem to the American people like he is big and strong and can do whatever he wants. It is a cope. It is him trying to compensate for how he does not have the support of the people. And the more and more unpopular he gets, the less likely those pillars of support underneath him, including fucking ABC, Disney, and, Columbia University and Big Law, the more unpopular he gets, the more you see people willing to speak out against him, including former Disney CEO Michael Eisner, including Karl Rove, including a slew of celebrities over the last 24 hours, right? People with large platforms, big voices, expressing their displeasure, their disapproval. The more all of that happens, the more the pillars of support are like, winds of change are blowing. The post-Trump era is going to come sooner rather than later. Maybe I want to rethink my strategy. Maybe it's actually not going to be so profitable for me to stand behind this guy and keep propping him up. According to the latest polling, Trump is underwater -40 on inflation and prices. He is minus more than 20 on jobs and the economy. He's underwater on guns, immigration, crime. His tariffs are deeply unpopular. We have reporting this morning from HuffPo that the inflation rate for electricity over the last 4 months is 15.7%, 4 times what it was under Joe Biden. According to University of Michigan economics professor Justin Wolfers, economists warned Donald Trump that his plans were going to be a bad scene, that prices and inflation would go up with his chaotic, nonsensical tariff plan and all of the other things he's doing to wreck the functionality of our government. Keep in mind, Donald Trump promised that he would lower egg prices on day one. He also promised he would end the war in Ukraine on day one, Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine on day one. And how are both of those things turning out? Donald Trump is the president of promises made, promises broken. And the American people are getting real fucking fed up with it. Right? We have Trump publicly claiming we've already solved inflation, we've solved prices. Trying to gaslight us. Like, we all know, we are looking at our bank accounts going down and down. We are looking at the cost of everything going up and up in this country. We are looking at our friends, neighbors, maybe ourselves having lost our jobs. There are now more people looking for work than there are job openings in the United States of America. Is this what Donald Trump meant when he said he would make America great again? He was never going to make it great again for the working class in this country. It was all about returning to the Gilded Age where the super rich robber barons, the billionaires, lived in the lap of luxury while all of the working class were exploited. That's the kind of greatness that Donald Trump envisions, right? In his nasty, gaudy, gilded Oval Office. He and his billionaire buddies fantasize about them having more wealth, more power, more control, and all of us being cogs in the machine. They want us to exist only to serve the super rich. Nothing about Trump's plan is going to increase the quality of life for working class Americans. And people are really seeing that. I want to talk about it later today, but A More Perfect Union had a video about West Virginia, and folks in West Virginia who voted for Donald Trump are like, we're losing our healthcare coverage, our clinics are closing, everything is more expensive. He lied to us. He didn't bring back the coal industry. We are so much worse off. So even though things seem really dark, that's because the Trump regime is trying to paint this picture that they are big and powerful and you cannot stop them. To me, watching Trump escalate his rhetoric and his attempts at crackdowns, that is encouraging, because to me it says that he's desperate. It says that he is spiraling, he is losing control. I know the term extinction burst has been tossed around a whole bunch since the beginning of Trump's term. I think the key thing for us to understand and communicate to each other right now, all of the things that Donald Trump is doing and saying now, that it is not evidence that he is a big, powerful dictator. It is evidence of his weakness, and we need to be reminding each other of that. If anybody has had an abusive ex-partner, you know your narcissistic ex started escalating his attempts to control you and to scare the shit out of you right when you were getting ready to leave. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He has got to seem big and scary because the only play that he has, the only way he can win is if we lay down and give up. So he's desperate. I wish I could communicate effectively the level of desperation of the regime right now. They are desperate to scare you into submission. The escalating rhetoric, the escalating tactics, that is all smoke and mirrors trying to get you to believe that he is big and powerful, because in reality, he does not have the support of the people. He is losing in so many ways. More and more people are rising up against him. More people, more institutions are speaking out, refusing to comply. So when you see Disney and ABC and the powerful men who control them going along with what Trump wants, those are the dumb motherfuckers who have not done the calculus. They either think that Donald Trump is going to be in power for a long time, or I think more likely they realize his days are numbered and they're like, as long as this crooked regime is in play, how can we use their corruption to get what we want and to make a bunch more money and expand our monopoly or whatever? How can we increase our wealth and our profit as a corporation in this period in time? And they're banking on you as consumers, forgetting that they did all of this. When the post-Trump era comes, they're banking on you still having brand loyalty to Disney and forgetting the shit they did now to support fascism. But we're not going to forget, are we? So I don't know. I'm in a really good mood today. I have a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about. I need to run to the farmer's market, but then I'm going to come back and talk about a bunch of good things in the news, some good perspective. Also, I want to talk about some of the horrible things that Trump is doing to wreck this country and why it is that we are no longer going to put up with it. I mean, I think there's lots of people who've not put up with it for a long time. But again, the more that he squeezes, the more he takes away, right? You cannot get blood from a turnip. There is a tipping point at which the American people are not tolerating what he's doing. We're seeing conservatives speaking out against his attacks on free speech. Seeing regular working class people who voted for him say, he's actually bad for my family and my community, and I regret what I voted for. This is not making America great again. This is not what I wanted. We have to maintain our spiteful, relentless optimism, but also we have to look at the fact that the regime is constantly trying to gaslight us. And when we look at news stories, when we look at what's happening, we need to perceive it through a factual, accurate lens, not the lens that the regime is trying to present, not the spin that the regime is putting on this. This is the moment where we not only have to hold the line, we have to push forward. We have to counter the propaganda of the regime with truth, because they are really, really desperate to get you to give up right now. We are at a pivotal moment. We have got to realize our power here. The regime knows our power. That's why they're so desperate for us to abandon it. That's why they're so desperate to propagandize us and demoralize us. This is your narcissistic ex who's trying to prevent you from leaving. He knows it's all slipping through his fingers. And right now is when we've got to hold strong.